Hello, podcast listeners. We know podcasts are a great way to catch up on a program that you may have missed on KSJE, and it's provided as a free service of this radio station. But you know, KSJE is now listener-supported, and so while you enjoy this podcast, we hope that you'll also take some time to join KSJE. Become a member today. It's quite easy to do. Just go to our website at ksje.com/support and pick the level of support that best matches your budget. Thanks again for listening. Here's your podcast. 10 minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Wednesday morning, the 21st day of May, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Scot Michlin. Thanks for tuning in to KSJE 90.9 FM over the air here in San Juan County, New Mexico. In Durango, Colorado, we broadcast at 103.3 FM. And if you're listening to my voice anywhere else on the planet, you've gone to our website to do that, streaming all the time at ksje.com. Also want to welcome our viewers who are joining us this morning. The video of this program is streaming out live to the KSJE Facebook page and also to our YouTube channel. So welcome aboard, everyone. So glad that you are with us this morning, because coming up, we are talking about the Feet of Clay Gallery in Aztec as they get ready to celebrate their 25th anniversary. Lots of things planned for that coming up, and we'll be sharing some great pictures from the Feet of Clay Gallery's history and talking to some of the folks that make the Feet of Clay Gallery just so unique in what it is. So stay tuned for that coming up in the next few moments right here on KSJE. Then later on this hour, an extra segment for you on this Wednesday. We'll be talking with author Kathy Myrick about her latest book, Scarlet of Arbalise. Kathy lives in Durango. We'll be talking more about that with her coming up today at 8:50 a.m. on KSJE. She's got a local book signing coming up, so we'll give you details about that as well. Speaking of books, we'll get to that in a moment, because Mick Hess will take over, Roving with the Arts, of course, a 90-minute version of the show today at 9:06. Lots of classical music planned for you then, but we will go back to books and authors, because Tony Compton is our guest this week on Right on Four Corners, talking about the latest book, Whale Song, with our host, Delcherie Gladden, that you'll hear today at 10:30 on KSJE. You can also connect with us on X and Instagram, and if you're a podcast person, we remind you, you can subscribe for free to KSJE Podcasts. You'll find them wherever you're listening to podcasts, so check it out and discover a new local program that you may have missed recently. Outside our studios here at San Juan College, it's currently sunny and 51 degrees on this Wednesday morning. We're expecting more sunshine and warmer weather today with a high of 76 degrees in Farmington. Clear skies tonight with a low near 50. It'll be sunny and warmer tomorrow and Friday, highs each day near 83. Overnight lows in the mid to lower 50s. Sunny and 80 degrees on Saturday. Sunny and 77 degrees on Sunday. Sunny and 72 degrees for Memorial Day Monday. I'll be back with my guest to talk about Feet of Clay right after this on KSJE. KSJE is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center. The most important ingredients to sustaining health and wellness are the resources and tools that help you live a vibrant and healthy life. At San Juan Regional Medical Center, the goal is to promote health by making sure those resources are available. Find the path to the best life at lifebetterhere.com. San Juan Regional Medical Center. Better is our mission, improving lives through personalized health and care. I'm back in Studio A with my guest this morning, as I mentioned, to talk with us about the Feet of Clay Gallery in Aztec. Joining me here in the studio, Bonnie Adams is here from Feet of Clay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back. Good to have you here. Also joining us here in the studio is Amanda Harig. Good morning to you. Thank you for being here as well.
Good morning.
And joining us remotely from Aztec, Pip Howard is joining us as well. Pip, good morning to you.
Good morning, Scott. Good morning, Bonnie and Amanda.
Good to see all of you, and thank you for being with us to talk about this very special place, I think, in many of our hearts, the Feet of Clay Gallery in Aztec, celebrating its 25th year this year. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been shockingly shortly long.
Well, that's a statement, I guess, right? And so, but it's unique, the Feet of Clay Gallery, as we've been talking about as we've gotten ready for the show this morning, because it's a unique structure. It's a co-op gallery, and so there really isn't a board or anyone in charge necessarily, I guess, but you maybe try to, move forward through agreement, I guess.
It's interesting. 25 years ago, when Jessica and Jessica Pilati, who can't be here because she's short at work.
She's
She's
short
not
all the
short.
time. Oh, I'm going to say that. You don't have to.
You
Jessica, I said it.
Stole my line.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But we
that's
wish she
all
could
right.
be here. But
We do,
if we
we
had
do.
somebody, all the people involved with Feet of Clay, we wouldn't have enough room in the studio.
right,
So
you're
there's
right.
that. So
But we had an idea. We were a group of potters, and we had this idea that it would be very nice to bring a venue for local artists, whether they be brand new artists or very, very experienced, to have a place to show their stuff.
right.
And
But in,
at that
in
time-
Aztec, though,
in
I think
Aztec.
that's unique too.
Yeah, well, I was driving down the street one day, and I look and I see this teeny, teeny, tiny space, about as big as your little tiny
Our studio.
studio
Okay.
here, and it was $90 a month. And we
Okay.
thought, well, it would be really wonderful to have a place for other potters to have their stuff, and a way to make art and pottery and the like affordable to the community. Because most galleries will upprice 50-60% or more.
Right.
And so when we started, we had a small amount of dues every member would pay every month, and then 10% of what they sold, and we were able to pay the rent and the electric and all that, and that's how we began, really tiny. That was our mission, was to do that, and we decided the way to do it is like, to get a bunch of artists to do something is like herding cats. In a lot of ways, but you have a lot of creativity and a lot of passion. And so the way we decided to do it was to have everyone be equal. Every person, like if you were a member of Feet of Clay, your voice is just as valid as anyone else's voice there. And if you have an idea and you can get more than half of the people to agree to do it, go with it. So we
Right.
have grown from just clay, right? So there's a lot of ways to spell feet, and one of those is what's on the end of your legs. And
Right.
so our feet are in clay, but we've grown to have oil and acrylic and sculpture and photography and fabric art and metal art and writing. So we've
Nice.
got local authors now and times to read, and we've had book signings now. So we're really very community based and community focused.
But that structure, I guess, too, gives everyone a little skin in the game, too. All your
Yes.
artists, and there's some responsibilities of being a
Yes.
member, but then you also get to have a say
Yes.
in how things
exactly.
go. And so I
Right,
think that
right.
was a genius way to set this up.
Yeah. We didn't realize we were geniuses.
Well, okay, but
But time has shown.
there you are, right? So wonderful. And so so here we are. You have a big celebration planned coming up in less than a month.
Yeah, June 7th. It's,
Okay.
right, Amanda? It's June 7th from
Right.
12 o'clock to 5. And it's just going to be come and visit. And we've invited all the various members that have been part of Feet of Clay over the years. And there's a ton, because that's been fluid too.
Right.
As people's lives have gotten crazy, or they've moved away, or whatever, they've come and gone. And so we always have about 8 to 12 artists, but they're not always the same 8 to 12 artists. So it should be a spectacular day.
A nice gathering.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of the community that
Right.
day.
And you are in, I think it's a relatively new space, but you've already been there for a couple of years at least, I know,
Working
right?
on our second year there.
On Main Avenue.
Yeah.
In Aztec. We're showing a picture right now on the screen of the newish location.
Yeah, it doesn't look like much. The old building was really, really cool because it was one of the original buildings in Aztec. But I like this space. We can afford it.
Nice.
That's
That
a
makes
key
it-
issue.
that makes it very likable.
Yeah, very likable.
They're lovable.
Yes. And there's a kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
So when we host events, I can actually make coffee and tea and all of that fun stuff. And the space is just nice. It gets tons of light from the front windows and
Right.
things. The only thing I miss is there's not the high ceilings to hang the large paintings, but it's a good space. We like it.
Nice.
We had to rip out the carpeting and paint the floors, and there was a lot of effort put in by the members.
There's a big
to-
difference of the after than the before
Uh-huh.
at the new location. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, it's wonderful to have you here to talk about the Feet of Clay Gallery. I know you've been a part probably since the beginning. Is that true?
Yeah, from the get-go.
Okay.
Jessica and I started
Yeah,
it.
okay.
And then I worked at the hospital, and when I got into management there, and life takes over, so I had to drop out for a few years, and then I came back the year before I retired.
Nice.
And so, yeah.
Very good. Well, Amanda, I want to turn to you, too, and talk about your experiences with Feet of Clay and how much it has been a part of your life in life and over its 25-year history. Talk to me about that.
Absolutely. So I think COVID really shook up what people valued the most. I know it did with me. I had walked into Feet of Clay before everything locked down, but coming out of the lockdowns, it was what Bonnie Adams had said about it being an artist co-op. And I worked really hard for 2 years and then came in with a portfolio and said I'd like to be a part of this as well. But yeah, that was 2021. I can't speak to anything prior to that.
Right.
But I know that in the last 4 years, you know, we do a lot of hosting of art receptions and stuff, but now it's things like writers' workshops, and we do a lot of community-centered things that I did not know Feet of Clay had done prior, and that's really what kept the art thing going for me.
Got it. And as we share some photos that has been shared with us about its history, and the one thing I'm struck by is just the people. Mm-hmm. It's a gathering place. Mm-hmm. It's not just things on a wall and things on a podium being displayed, which are beautiful, but it's also a gathering place of very different, unique individuals who share their time and talents with themselves and everybody else who go there, and that's what makes it, I think, a special place.
Yeah, it's been wonderful. We've been doing the open mics now since before COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and they have grown. They're every other month, and they're standing room only, and it's so wonderful. It's not your typical open mic. You have people singing, you have people, a lot of poetry, a lot of local writers come and do their stuff. And Professor here, Travis Wade,
there's a picture of him, and
yeah,
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually write too. So he and I were reading something together, kind of a little performance thing.
Nice.
But his students have come.
That's
We've
right.
had student nights for some of his students, and that's been wonderful. I love to see young people getting involved in art. And it's hard because art has morphed and changed. And we talk about Connie Gotch. I had the pleasure of having her show at Feet of Clay one year.
Oh, cool.
And I know, it was wonderful.
Connie
But-
was a very accomplished photographer.
Yes, she was an amazing photographer, and her photographs moved me so much. They were from other countries.
Mm-hmm.
I do digress. The reason I bring up Connie Gotch is with young people, digital art has become a big thing. And we were able to get a grant through the Connie Gotch Foundation to support us beginning a whole digital art part of Feet of Clay. And so that's still in its infancy and growing, but we now have the capability to support and show young digital or old digital artists at the gallery. So
Nice.
That's been a really good thing, kind of all working back in
Sure.
with San Juan College and the things that have gone in here.
Very true. I remember we did a show on the digital art
Yep.
exhibit
Yep.
when one of the first ones opened, if I
Yep.
remember correctly,
Yep.
and really with some of the artists, and it was really cool to see what they had done digitally, and to be able to display those things in the gallery is another thing that is unique and new, and so it's kind of cool to be able to see that. So
Yeah,
kudos to the foundation for giving the funds to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I always think the flexible will not be broken. And so as a gallery, we have worked very hard at being flexible and at being open to growth and change and to expressing the viewpoints of people in our community and to looking to be a voice.
Nice. Right.
Yeah.
Very good. Pip Howard has been waiting patiently. I know she wants to get a word in edgewise here, I bet. Pip, can you tell us a bit about your experiences with Feet of Clay over the years?
Well, I remember going to the original gallery on the west side of the street on South Main, and it was, as Bonnie said, tiny. It had pottery. And then I believe it was 2003, we moved, Feet of Clay decided to move to a larger space that had a bathroom that wasn't simply a toilet behind a curtain. And-
Improvement.
It was an improvement, yes. And we moved to 108, and they moved to 108 South Main. And at that time was when they decided to expand the inventory not only to potters. And so I was one of the first artists who was not a potter to join Feet of Clay in, I think it was the fall of 2003. And because at the time I was doing metal art and jewelry. And so it was really great. We had, it was a much expanded place, and we started to include a whole variety of artists. And that was when it became, you know, a different entity from just local potters. But we've always kept the emphasis on local.
Right.
That this is a one-of-a-kind store. I mean, sure, there's other co-ops in other towns and cities, but ours encompasses, you know, we have had members from Colorado. Primarily, it's been members from New Mexico, and a huge range of artists from jewelry to metal art. We'll have a recycled art show every year. We will invite artists from other places. I mean, we'll have exhibitions that showcase individuals, and we will also have quite a lot of shows every year where we invite the general public to submit work.
Right.
And I think that is one of the cool parts of our store. It's not just about professional artists, but really anybody can submit work. And as long as it's able to be exhibited well, we'll put it up if it's part of a show.
Sure. And I know you've done shows with recycled art.
Yeah.
Is there one on the walls right now?
No, that was.
Did I miss it? I missed it.
Wait, is it still up, Pip? I
It's
think
still
it
up.
is still up. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
still
I
up
didn't miss
till
it.
this week. This is the coming week's the last weekend. And there is one man whose work that is there. Don, what's his last name?
Hammondtree.
Hammondtree.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, you've got to see this fish. It sounds crazy. It's made
Okay.
out of bottle caps. It belongs in a folk art museum. I'm not kidding.
Wow.
It's an amazing piece. If you only come in to see those.
There you
of
go.
course, there's all kinds of other wonderful recycled art, but when you walk in, that's the thing that'll hit you in the head straight away.
Nice.
Not literally, but
But it really makes an impact.
it does.
Yeah,
It
very,
does.
very
So,
cool.
Yeah, we've had exciting things
Sure.
in those shows.
Nice. And I wanted to ask you all, I know when you moved to the current location, there was maybe a lot of conversations about where to go, what to do, how to stay affordable, things along that line. But I think the one thing that I heard loud and clear was the group wanted to keep Feet of Clay in Aztec. That
Yes.
was probably a non-starter for any kind of conversation. The gallery was going to be in Aztec. It's always been in Aztec. It celebrates Aztec. It contributes to Aztec. All those things, and I think that's been part of its mission too from the beginning. Is that true?
Yeah, we are in Aztec. We are an Aztecian gallery.
Nice.
So yes, yeah.
Nice.
That is our focal central
Sure. Very
location.
good. Right. And Pip, again, going back to you as an artist, again, to have this outlet to be able to show your creations, and you've done lots of different types of art, I know. How is it to be able to connect your art with customers, really, who want to maybe look and buy what you're selling?
Well, for me, it's just been an amazing outlet because I don't have to submit multiple times a year to different entities in order to get work into a gallery. And I'm able to submit to sell experimental work, essentially. So I've really enjoyed being a member of Feet of Clay and being able to sell what I produce there. And the other thing about it, because we're a co-op, the members of the co-op work in the gallery. So if a person walks in through the door, they will find that whoever is behind the counter is an integral part of the business. They're not an employee.
Right.
So it's a very different ambiance from when you have a gallery that probably has an amazing art owner and also pays people to work there, but we're not paid to work there. We're an integral part of it. Where the artists themselves are staffing the gallery. And so people get a very different insight from that. And part of our structure also is that the artists who are core members can exhibit their work continuously. And then in addition to that, we will have, as I mentioned earlier, outside artists come in and do shows.
Right.
And most of them are local. Some of them are very new artists or people who have hardly exhibited anywhere at all before. Mm-hmm. And this is one of our goals, is to have new and emerging artists participate and be able to have a place to show their work.
Got it. So I would think if when I go in and I'm looking at a piece, and maybe you're working at Feet of Clay, Pip, and it's maybe not your piece, but somebody else's piece, but I bet you can probably tell me a bit about that artist too.
Yeah, I mean, certainly all the artists who are regular members of the
Right.
co-op, we all know each other.
Yeah, which is great.
And we do our very best to get along, and, you know, everybody has to sweep the floor. Everybody has to help with things. As you know, obviously not everybody has the same skill set, but we're all part of keeping it new and vibrant and constantly changing.
Sure.
It's up to the members to share with others, and each month that we have a new show, which we have about 10 new shows a year, we will either have invited artists or it could be a group show, and it's usually posted on Facebook. I will also send out emails, and I tell people when they come in, if you give us an email address, you will get sent information
Right.
about once a month, sometimes more often, but it's a real human being, otherwise known as Pip Howard, who sends out the actual emails. So we're not like a big company that has a bot sending out, 25 emails a day to everybody. I promise people they won't get more than, somewhere in the range of 1 to 3 emails a month telling them about what's going on. So in addition to social media, we also have that individual way. So for instance, I'm getting ready to send out information about our next show, which is one of our newer members, Claire Duffy. She will be having a show starting next Friday. So I'll be sending out a poster and information about her show.
Okay, very good. Well, looking forward to that. And again, it goes back to that structure, I think, of how Feet of Clay was set up, to have that cooperative effort of all of its members being able to contribute, but also take some responsibility. But I'm sure it hasn't been 25 years of singing Kumbaya all the time.
No.
But
Nope.
but that's okay. And that's okay too.
We are humans.
Yes.
You have this picture up.
Yes, I do.
This is by Rick Cinciano, and it brings to mind one of the latest kind of cool things that's grown out of there. I said we have had book launches.
Yeah.
And the latest book launch we've had has been in the Company of Animals, by the San Juan Writers Group.
Right.
Yeah. The really cool thing is 2 of our artists, Amanda, working with Rick Cinciano, did the illustrations for that
Oh, cool.
book. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's, again, a merging of all the different forms of art.
Right.
And so it just reminded me when I saw Rick's
There you
picture
go.
up there.
See, well,
Yeah.
that's what art does, is inspire us and
Yes.
remind us of things that are meaningful. Go ahead, Amanda.
Well, and I just wanted to comment on the networking that's taking place during these community events. You
Right.
know, I didn't know anybody walking into that gallery in 2021, and then at the end of 2024, you want to do 30 illustrations for a local writer group? Of course I do, and these are the opportunities, though, that you would not find in any other structure outside of that co-op.
Right, right. Good point. Very good point. The photo we were showing now, I think, Bonnie, correct if I'm wrong, is from the digital art exhibit there from that first year.
Yeah, those are TV screens up there. And,
to be able to display that digital art, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Very nice. And again, another shot of the gallery. And so for this event on the 7th that's coming up, tell us what you've got planned. It's just an open house kind of? Folks can come and go? Do you have anything else going on? Who's going to jump out of a cake? That's what I want to know.
Not me.
Okay. All right.
I know that there will be live demonstrations.
Nice.
We were talking about getting the potters together, but in terms of 2D art as well, probably have something in terms of sidewalk chalk. It'll very much be a community outreach event.
There will be music. Charlie, who you had his picture up, will probably be playing that day as well.
Very good.
Yeah.
Just to point out, there's a photo on the screen of Pip Howard with some of her artwork.
Yeah.
Surrounded by some of her creations.
And that's Elisa on the top. That's actually Rick Kensiano's mom. Yeah. And she and we might have a picture of Bree. The other thing is she's a volunteer. And so is Bree. And they do art, but they don't have the wherewithal at this moment to join. They don't want to make that commitment, but they
still volunteer.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, they're wonderful people, and so that has been a delight to have people come and volunteer.
Right. How great. You were mentioning some of the food and other entertainment, too, on this anniversary party that you're having.
Yes,
wonderful.
Yes.
So we're going to look forward to it, but it is coming up, and it's exciting to help celebrate the 25th anniversary with Feet of Clay. Pip Howard, any final thoughts on the 25 years? How long have you been involved with all the 25 years, or a little bit newer than that?
I've been involved since 2003 when Feet of Clay moved from the original location to a fairly short stint at 108 South Main, which was across the street from our long-term location at 107 South Main. And I just think it's a great venue for new and emerging artists and for the community, because we have expanded so much from the original mission of just the pottery, and now we do have community events. We like to think of ourselves in many ways more of as a community art center, with the open mic nights, the book launches, writers groups, and we never charge a fee, but we do ask, if a group comes in and uses our facilities, we do ask for donations from people. It may be as little as $3, but it all helps keep the lights on and keeps the building occupied.
Nice.
And I think growing into not just a gallery, but a gathering center has been a really vital part. And I think since about 2018, we've been having open mic nights. And it's been such a great community event and a great gathering place.
True. You can just look at those photos of the smiles on everyone's faces and see what a great gathering spot it has become. Amanda, same question to you a little bit about your experiences and what's next for you and for Feet of Clay, do you think?
Well, I know we will expand, and that's based on whatever interest that the community shares with us. But I am most excited about our July open show. Anybody in town, come on down, check it out. We are putting together what we're calling Fungus Among Us. This is open for submissions, and it's anything you want to incorporate mushrooms into. But we will have speakers on one of these days, too, that we have a mushroom hunter, somebody that actually grows culinary mushrooms. You see him at the farmers markets. And then, of course, we have the spiritual side of it, too. So definitely shooting for Fungus Among Us. Check out our Facebook. You'll see all about it. Okay,
or sign up for one of Pip's emails. That'll do it, too. So wonderful. Bonnie Adams, same question about what's next in your experience with Feet of Clay.
I think we'll be growing in the areas we're working in already. I actually am hoping, I have some experimental ideas in my mind, working with all of it, working with a writer and the digital art, and then filming it. So I'm playing with that idea. That has room to grow. But I will make an entreaty to all the community that is listening. These are hard times as far as keeping our doors open. It is an ongoing struggle. I truly believe that we have value for the community. And I truly believe that the community gets value from us. And it's saying that when you're going to, and it sounds silly, but it's important in order to support is to sell things and to have you all come in. But at this time, local shops are more and more and more important. So if you're thinking of a gift or thinking of something for your wall or thinking of something functional to serve, why not something beautiful? Think of us, 222 North Main. When you make a purchase from Feet of Clay, you're doing more than taking home a beautiful piece of art. You are taking home the thoughts and well wishes of one of the artists, and you are providing support for this thing that I think is vital to the community: art, passion, concern, growth. So remember, Feet of Clay when you're doing your shopping.
Good point. Very good point. And on that note, we will have to say goodbye because we run out of time, but we will see you again at the celebration,
Yep.
if not before.
Yep.
25th anniversary coming up in June,
Yep.
and we will hope everyone will turn out and, again, stop by when they're looking for that unique gift
Absolutely.
and want to support some local artists.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Thank you very, very much. Pip Howard, I'm going to thank you first because you're remote, and so thank you very much for being with us. I really appreciate it. Great to see you. Also, Bonnie Adams and Amanda Harig, thank you both for coming into the studio this morning
Thank
and getting
you,
up
Scott.
early to see me and celebrate Feet of Clay. We really appreciate it. Feet of Clay here with me on KSJE. Did you enjoy that podcast? We hope that you did. And if you did, share it with your friends. And if you really want to keep podcasts like this coming, please support KSJE. You can do it easily online at ksje.com.